It's very warm welcome, everyone, down to the Fremantle Football Club at Coburn Arc, as we've got the match tonight between WA Black and WA Gold in the Under 17s AFL Championships intra-club. Dave Lindsay, Clint Degebrot and Jen Wallace, your commentary team down here on a pretty cool night down in Coburn. Great facility here for the girls to test out here this evening. You can see the Gold team going through their warm-up away to the left of our broadcast position. And the Black team are out on the field as well. Lots of talent out here to keep an eye on here this evening. Start of 2 matches between these squads over the next 2 Wednesday nights. Lots of young players that have already made their first appearances in Waffle W colours for their Waffle clubs. And obviously on the talent pathway, Clint Degebrot and Jem Wallace. Degs, tell us a little bit about the groups we've got here tonight. What's the purpose of the matches we've got tonight and next week?
The AFL's been really good in terms of promoting a large group of players underneath the 19s program, and this year they've refined it. So couple previous years it's been NGA program, so we've had sort of 30 kids at Freo, 30 kids at West Coast, and the 2 clubs have done a wonderful job in preparing the players. I think the expectations on the clubs this year it's come more central. So we can't find 60 talented kids in one age group, so we're really fortunate in Western Australia that we're able to play 16 and 15 and 17-year-olds in their squad. So it's next year's 19s, and it's 2 groups of kids preparing to go again through the 16s and 17s program in 2022. So idea is just to expose best talent available to a high-level game.
And Jen, we've got some talent on the screen at the moment. You've seen a number of these girls in the Waffle W already this season. Who are you looking forward to watching tonight?
Well, definitely looking at the centre line grouping for Gold. Olivia Cripps, Jamie Henry and Abigail Bushby with fantastic, they've got league experience and they're going to be across the line there. So I think that's going to be a really interesting thing to see their talent come through at this level. Abby
Bushby, their number 2 Swan District's winger. Just 16 years of age. Should see some dash from her. She's playing league football too at the moment, as you said, Jen. A couple of Angelique Rayson in number 33, basketball talent, 15 years old. And playing in the ruck for East Fremantle in their league side. You can see that she's got some balance too. Pugilet Thompson just handballing in the front of your screen. Chichili across the other side, and little Charlotte Tompkin in the top corner.
Yeah, and number 14, someone that I'm a bit more familiar with through Subiaco connections. Been watching her over the last 12 weeks or more, just works so hard. She's a cricket lover, a football lover, and just the way she goes about her training, I can't wait to see her on stage tonight.
Jamie Henry there as well, wearing the 28 for Gold. We've seen her in defence, mainly for Swans at Waffle W League level. She's done an outstanding job for Swan Districts this year. Degs, she's listed to start in the midfield today, so that'll be an interesting challenge for her.
Yeah, young player that's just learning her way in the league program at Swan Districts with Adam Dancy and the team. And today she gets a chance to play with players her own age, so she goes into the midfield today. Probably a midfielder longer term, strong-bodied, aggressive in the right way, aggressive at the football, really strong contested ball winner, so she'll get a couple of 6-minute stints per quarter in the centre of the ground for Gold.
And Jen, we were talking off air before we came on to this live stream. West Perth sitting at the top of the Rogers Cup this year, but a lot of players, just like here in Nadja Brown, who is an East Fremantle, a bit of a utility. He's played all over the place. They don't get the chance to play too often in the Rogers Cup as well. We see them at league level instead. Yeah,
it's interesting to see that, because I came in and I was speaking to you about the fact that West Perth is sitting there 11 wins, the 1 draw with the game last weekend against South Fremantle. And I was wondering about where their dominance was at Rogers, and then we sort of started to look through how other clubs do have players elevated into their league sides, and this is why this sort of tournament or little couple of games gives us a great chance to see where people are amongst their peers.
And Degs, Emily Boothman there in the bright red boots. She's already played WA Under 19s, a match against South Australia during the recent series.
She did. Some injuries allowed us to take her away and give her a little taste of the next level. And she got a couple of kicks in that game. She's speaking there with Hannah Hong, S&C, with Swan Districts, and also Ali Noakes has played some league footy. Millie Jones, long way back from her wrist injury. This is her first game in about 20 months. So she could be anything. She trained with the 19s program. We just couldn't get her up and selectable due to that injury. So this is her first game since injuring that wrist that she had an operation on 20 months ago.
She was standing there for a moment next to Jordan Thompson that we saw, I think, in the grand final last year at Rogers Cup level as well for Peel.
Grace Fenton there too, number 13 for Black, and she'll get some inside footy today. Should be a good match up against Jamie Henry.
Lucy Greenwood there just going through her final paces as well. So what are we playing here tonight? How many quarters, Diggs? Is it the 4 quarters and 18 minutes?
4 quarters, 18 minutes. The only change to normal activities, it's a 6-6-6.
So the 18 on the field compared to the 16 that we have for AFLW. The Gold coming in for a final chat while Black's just going through their final preparations there as well. Tessa Livington.
Just concentrating hard, Tessa.
Waiting for someone to bump her, I think. Everyone else was having a few bumps. She was waiting her turn.
She's one of our very young players, and she doesn't shirk the contested footy, Tessa.
And Deggers, I saw in preparation for this game, just some of your communication to the players, running bounces, switches, snaps, hangers, all welcomed and encouraged. And I loved that sort of little excitement of a message out.
Just the players, we tend to, players are always trying to show how good they are and get selected. So sometimes you can become a bit of a tackle fest, and we sort of make so. We just said to the girls, we're not here to watch you tackle. We're here to watch what you can do. Don't think about what you can't do. Show us your stuff, and that's running bounces, as you said, switches, snaps from the boundary line. Don't worry about centering it, and take a hanger. Yeah,
take the game on. This is what is exciting about being able to have a fixture like this provided.
And a venue too. Thank you very much to the Fremantle Footy Club, Coburn Arc. I don't think we've got a better surface available to us at the moment.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's almost free play tonight, isn't it, for the girls? There's no one's going to get dragged for making a mistake. It's all going to be a bit of fun. The girls know each other pretty well. You can see handshakes all around before the game as well. It's always good to see. Luke Nelson Marsden from West Perth in the number 8 in the Gold. She'll line up early against Nadja Brown, which will be a good matchup. Both with a lot of talent. Gracie Fenton standing alongside as well. Georgie Cleaver, who's already had a crack at AFLW. She's number 26 in the black, the starting ruck. Also plays in the WA Netball League as well. So a really talented young sports person. She's in the ruck against Michaela Rogers to get us underway tonight. The scoreboard, the result, not too much importance to anyone out here tonight. It's more the opportunity to watch these talented girls show what they can do. And going forward first, Abigail Bushby. Her hand pass was chopped off. Thompson was in there, and Black go forward. Low down, good collect. Spinning and turning and firing away on goal is Boothman. And she's just put it to the left and through for a behind. Emily Boothman, who, as we said earlier, from the South Fremantle Footy Club. She's already had a chance at state 19s level, so it'll be interesting to see what she can do here against girls of her own age.
You just see how good she is below her knees. That's Olivia Cripps steaming in there and getting the kick away down the wing for goal.
I've just lost track of the boundary line there. I think
there's actually 2 lines there, and I reckon I got confused there too. It was just Cripsy trying to connect ahead and just run out of the bounds on the close side there. So we get a boundary throw in. It's Michaela Rogers, Larry Kickett's niece. There's some talent, very young. One down by Cleaver. It's in front of us now. Working out again is Fitzgerald. It's Tyler Fitzgerald back into the pack. And it forms some contested footy in there. Trying to rip it out, it's Boothman. Holding it in there is Olivia Cripps. So some of the players we spoke about already are getting really busy.
So a few stoppages. Cleaver in the ruck against Rogers, who wins it down nicely. Swooping through Brown, couldn't quite take it with her. Ends up putting a tackle on. And then follows up to get hands on the football. Dodd with a strong tackle for goal. And we'll see a ball up. Corner of the centre square. Number 4 for Black. Jen Wallace, we had a look at this name before the match started. We can't wait to see what she can do. Zippy Fish, here she goes. Kicks across the body, gets it inside 50. Boothman would have liked to have taken that one. Unfortunately, couldn't hang on. Coming through with the hand pass was Raisin. She's able to get it away to Chirichili. Another fantastic name. Fish is involved again over the football. Does nicely. Could be a little bit slippery out there for the girls. The dew will come in early this evening in cool conditions. Another ball up at half forward.
That was a good forward 50 entry from Zippy Fish there. She just popped up right on cue.
We met Zippy when she was 12 years old. We've been waiting a long time to see her in state colours. She'll also play with the WA State 17s. Bits ball's been extracted by Brown. A little short inside. Favours gold at this stage. Game is starting a little heated, as you'd expect. This kick around the corner is pretty good, but sitting in the hole and dropping the mark eventually. Got some work to do now. Shoved at it, but it was Sims, and Millie Jones gets the first for Black. Just a little error allows Millie Jones to kick. Well, that's her first kick in 20 months, and it's a sausage roll, so she'll be pretty happy with herself. A little smile there. Some real good build-up pressure from Black side just repeat entries.
Yeah, good early pressure from Black, as you said, repeating the entries in, and they get the reward in that instance. Boothman early started with a great standard, didn't she? She didn't overuse the ball, looked to kick from about 35 out, and it just faded away for a behind. And in this instance, they work it forward again and put the pressure on Gold.
Naja Brown on screen. She's made a very good start to this game. Played some good football for East Fremantle already at AFLW level. The same rucks will go at it again. Cleaver with the big fist, but it's intercepted by Gold. Away goes Olivia Cripps again. Hand pass turned over. Brown on the burst again. Kick doesn't quite connect with the leading forward. At the back, opportunity for Boothman again in the red boots. Can't take it with her. Coming out the other way was Grassinus. Tackle applied there on Olivia Cooper. There goes Fish with a tumbling kick inside again. Boothman shrugs the tackle, straightens up. Can't quite finish though, pushing it away to the right. And that will go out of play, but it bounced inside the line, and because it's inside the 50-metre arc, boundary umpire will bring the ball back in about 10 metres before throwing it in.
So lacking a little bit in accuracy, but I'm liking the fact that when poised with an opportunity to take on and try and score points, that's what she's taking on, Boothman.
All in. It's good from Grassinus, trying to break through. Little give there to Pollard. One of the very young players. Grassinus in again. West Perth product. Can't quite get a kick away. Henry to put the pressure on. Black going back inside again. All on the far side of the ground. Tackled perhaps without in possession. No, she's holding the ball. That's Jordan Thompson. Jordan Thompson, centre half back, centre half forward, apologies. Ruckman with the Peel Footy Club. It's a long shot on goal. Looks pretty good, but just fades late. Chest mark is dropped. Pressure on again. This ball will be kicked around the corner. It's a goal. Is that Boothman again? Yep. So Boothman's been really busy, just trying to tug her off the footy there. And she's able to get WA Blacks second sausage. So Millie Jones, the goal kicker. Boothman, and Boothman's had probably 5 shots.
Yeah, been a good start from M. Boothman. Jen, have you seen much of her at South Fremantle this year?
Just the one game when we, the Subiaco side that I was with, were playing against South Fremantle. And I guess the thing, and the perfect reason for these games is that immediately seeing Brown and Boothman and players that have got some experience in their senior sides showing what they can do against their peer group. It's a great opportunity.
Just saw Holly Britton come on through the interchange gates, and number 21 there for Black, who's going to line up on the wing now. Good tackle applied here by Black as well.
Her sister was captain of the state 19s this year, and you'll never guess Holly Britton's nickname.
It's got to be something English, doesn't it?
It was Little.
Little Britain. Not bad, not bad. Her sister didn't have much of a nickname, did she?
No, she was called by her full name.
Yep.
The little sister's a lot cheekier than Jay. Zippy Fish, meanwhile, on the wing. Very busy little player. As you said, looking forward to seeing her play, not just because of her name. Like her name suggests, she's very quick.
You mentioned before, thanks to Fremantle Footy Club, who have been kind enough to host this game. They've also been very kind to us, sticking us inside one of the rooms on a pretty cool night. Feel sorry for the cameramen who are outside. Don't feel so sorry for Bo McDonald, who's just snuck in alongside us to sit inside, not out there having a look at all the players up close. He's got the good position. Nice warm cup of coffee in his hands as well. He's just about to get the toasted sandwich maker out as well, just sitting next to me on the right. As the scrap for the footy continues. Need someone to burst away, and there they go. Grassinus had it nearly ripped out of her hands by Thompson. Umpire decides to call a halt to that passage of play on the wing. As Bo's just taken the first bite of his ham and cheese and tomato sandwich.
In the air, pulling it down against Cleaver. Chirichili leaves it behind. Trying to flash in Nelson Marsden. It's her kick away now. Connects very nicely on the wing with Jamie Henry. Plays on left. Searching, kick towards Dodd. Picked up really well below the knees by Van der Heever. She runs into a tackle, unfortunately, and is called holding the ball. Van der Heever trying to make the play. Lovely work. Eventually trapped by O'Donnell. Dashing player from Peel. Again, very young player. Ball half-volleyed nicely in the centre of the ground. It's in the hands of Fenton. Intercepted, or attempted intercept was from Grassinus. Ball eventually kicked, driven down the line really nicely by Grassinus. Clever kick. Dodd in the race to get this footy. Bends over and picks it up well. Van der Heever flashing in again. This is Tamasha Blurt son. There's a daughter of Ashley Blurt, and of course Richmond and West Coast product in a 1-2 with Henry. Usually a long kick, not this time. A little mystery ball, picked up by Reach, handed over to McCall. It wasn't McCall, apologies. Going the other way now is Mirachesk. This long kick towards the forward. Tanner Lee and Amber Sinclair. Amber Sinclair works her way to the back. Famous in early days wearing a green helmet. Gets this to Isabel Maricheski, who kicks it around the corner. Is it Gold's first score? It is, but it's a minor one to the far side. And that player, very busy at ground level. Subiaco product through the MDS. Exciting little forward.
I was looking forward to seeing Amber Sinclair out there, and I was looking for the helmet, but first time I've seen her without the helmet on. Very promising forward a number of years ago in those MDS games. Ball going back inside from Olivia Cripps, and she connects with Sinclair. The times we saw her, Degs, in the MDS a couple of years ago, she was a natural full forward, coming straight out of the goal square on the lead, good marks, and then turn and kick goals.
14 years old then, so playing with she was playing with the Perth Footy Club. Now she's with East Fremantle. Perth just rebuilding their youth girls program.
I'm prepared to say from what I've seen of her, she'll kick this. Hopefully she can handle that pressure that I've just added to her shoulders as well. She can't. There you go. Stitched her up nicely, Jen, didn't I?
Absolutely.
Sorry, Amber. She'll do better next time. I won't mention it.
She's a good kick. It's so I think I said Miracheski. Getting a bit excited. Micheska. Sorry, is it? Isabella loves her footy. Ball in.
Great kick out.
Middle of the ground. Fenton just turns and goes. Very attacking young player. Drives the ball long. In the middle of the ground now. Picked up beautifully by Fish. Fish is kicking the ball well. She goes, this is another good example of just getting the ball forward. And Grassinus is coming off and attacking that ball really well. It's Fish again. So Fish another inside 50. This time to the ball, leading well. Can't quite find the handle. It's Hall. Gets it now. Converted hockey player Riley Hall. Pugilis Thompson nudges Georgia Haynes off the footy in the path of Cripps. Not the greatest bounce for Cripps. Haynes gets it. Handball into the centre looking for Fenton. Picked up by Gamble. Gamble's kick intercepted by O'Donnell, or left behind eventually. Opens the door for Dodd. Dodd's got a couple of players break across the far side of the ground. Try to feed it to Bushby going past. Dodd goes back and just thumps it in. Now it's 3v2 ahead of the ball here. All WA Gold, so we should get a good score here. The ball's pulled around looking for Sinclair. Some of the Blacks have got back in reach to help out. Sinclair's still there. Tackling's Meg McCauley. Does well to avoid falling in the back of her opponent there. Gets a stoppage for a team. 20 metres out directly in front.
I like the look of Madison Dodd, Jen.
Yeah, she's so clean below her knees as well. So she seems to have a really good centre of gravity. The way she can approach the ball and strong through her hips already at such a young age.
He's blurting. Look at it go.
Big fan of Gem and the holograms too. Maddie Dodd.
Well, hand pass away on the burst was Bushby. Sending it goal, and she's got a good piece of that. That's a great goal. Abigail Bushby. I've seen her over the last month or so with Swans, and she is a real talent. It's a hard team to break into. She wanted a goal celebration and eventually just waved the hand and said, all right, I'll get back to my position. But, Jen, we've seen Swans a fair bit, and we've seen a bit of Bushby, and they're prepared to play their young kids, and it's paying off. Bushby's coming along nicely. Yeah,
well, they're doing so well across all of their pathway teams, and then their league team is just dominating at the top and still being able to play their youngsters. It's a really exciting time for Swan Districts and for the players involved in that program.
Thought Charlotte Tompkin was going to get the sneaky one on the far side of that contest. She was in a good position on your screen. This is Fenton. This is a very nice player here. Contest in front of the ball and a very good mark from Rayson. So Rayson, we've caught her a few times. Get a bit of insight into some of her family history. That is the post, and she's Madison Mole. Here, breaking away is Bush, using her left foot to try and put this forward. Locks attacking, but it's not forward 50 meters. On the big searching lead there was a player that I've really enjoyed, Mendoza, in the program. In the forward line, turning around the corner here and having a slash at Jones. She's got it deep, and the ball's kicked offline. And Black's
Agnes Manise, I think.
It's Agnes Manise. From 20. Southwest Product, who's driven up from Bunbury today for this game. Gets as a small, famed as a midfielder.
Nice piece of work, and good to see Millie Jones getting involved, as you said, been out injured for a long time. There's Abigail Bushby, who has been impressive.
Jamie Down, a lot of work Bernice, Beth Schilling, and of course Holly Gill out. Haven't seen her flash past just yet, but wonderful athlete from a farm south of Pemberton. Long drive for a game of footy today.
Now, imagine, Dex, we'll see the positions the girls are playing being switched pretty heavily throughout this evening's footy as well. They won't just be camped in the same spot for the majority of the game.
No, that's exactly right. So they'll be flipped, and you'll see. I think you'll see Racing go into the ruck. Ellie Noakes will go forward. You'd hope Jordan Thompson will get a run in the ruck too. Hopefully, Cleaver in front of the ball. Just Chloe Shearing on your screen there, just being marked by Nelson. Just as the ball goes up there, he taps down in Bushy's path. Right, shoveling the ball forward. Harper Gamble, Claremont, construct herself. Brown, or Harper Gamble. Did Brown in. Russell, ball up.
The rucks to go at it. Cleaver in the back against Beckenowski. Comes down. Way through there. It was Jamie Henry. Tough footy to be won. Georgia Haynes touches away. Showed a good turn of speed there. Strike the kick. They're running the foot. Taylor. The goal. In the middle of the Bushby in front. Beckenowski there as well. Bushby will go on time. Georgia Haynes in. To pop. Picks up. She's nowhere. So we will get a.
Georgia Haynes, lovely kid. Daughter of Daniel Haynes, Peel and Fremantle player. So potentially, you don't want to curse a kid at 15 years of age, but available as a father-daughter pick for Fremantle.
Goal. Good connection through the middle of the ground. Now it's half across the opposite direction. For football call now. Being knocked over. Clearing kick comes out from reach. Gold have got it well set up. Jamie Henry, as I said pre-game, seen her more as a defender playing field far tonight. A little hand pass for the runner going by. That was Entwistle biting the hands. Contest making the spoil their goal. Doing a good job. Come inside. Bakes has got to get out of the way as the runner. She's got a big piece of pace. In fact, it's not Bakes. Bakes running inside.
It's be Julia.
Is this Jules?
West Coast.
Got a list of changes.
Moved across the West Coast at the end of last year after working with the State Academy here. Ripper human being, happy to be involved with these girls too. No, Brown, Abby Bushby.
Might be high.
There was a little shot, and then probably holding the ball. Tap on the shoulder first. That's with Brown. Brown just takes a breath. Ball has been zinging around. Bushby then charges her down. Brown manages. Brown's getting better play. That's a league footy under a player. Ball thumped forward now by Black. Box seat goal. Little fumble in front was Pollard, the 14-year-old. She'd been caught for holding the foot. One. That's Moniz. 15 years of age. Just giving a little lesson to Sienna Pollard in instant pressure. Pollard, there's plenty to like about her as a young player. She's fighting her way as we watch Agnes on approach. A couple of steps and nice straight leg kick into the goal square. Coming out Henry, risky handle, but exactly what Doctor ordered in terms of goal for a clearance. It bounces around now from Michaela Rogers. Haynes grabs it and goes back towards Black's goal again. Nest of goal. Spills over the back. Chirichili. Cooper's there. What can happen now? Mendoza burrowing as well. Boothman stalking side of that stuff dangerously with 1 minute play.
The pressure on the goal defence here. Just a minute quarter. Good piece of ruck work from, it was Raisin on that occasion, who swatted away from the area. And Zippy Fish, nice little sidestep. It's away from it, and then the delivery was superb. Nice work from Zippy Fish.
She's had multiple inside 50 entries. I mean, the name says it all. She lives up to it. She has literally been zipping around the field tonight.
Good pass from Cooper, finds Haynes. And shot just before the siren. It'll probably be the last piece of action of the quarter, especially if she can make the distance. We'll see what sort of distance she's got in a kick. She struck it very well. It's going to go right to the goal line, and I reckon it's cleared them on the line. It has. Great kick from Haynes. And that's a nice way to end what's been a pretty impressive first quarter from Haynes, and also the black team in particular. It will take a 17-point lead to the quarter-time break here on our live stream of the WA Under-17s intra-squad match. Thanks to Front Row Screens. We'll take a little break and be back with the second quarter shortly.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple. Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
Back down here at Coburn Arc, Victor George Kalis Oval, I should say, the home of the Fremantle Footy Club. We're inside the gold huddle. There's the black huddle. AFLW just having a chat with some of the black forwards who've done an excellent job in the first term. Millie Jones, number 30, she's kicked a goal, and number 16, Emily Boothman's got one as well. Had a good start to the game. Jenna Loam's the coach in the black and gold tracksuit there, just having a look at the board as well.
That's AFLW having a chat. She's running the forwards today. Pia Horse coaches the Rogers Cup at Subiaco. So you know a lot about that.
Yeah, she does. So good opportunity for her. I've been really impressed with her coaching and the way she delivers the message. She's a as well, which seems to really work well in the coaching space. I'm sure she'll be delivering some really good messages to that forward line.
She's complaining about having to come all the way down here from Warwick. It took her over 50 minutes. There was a couple of accidents on the freeway, so she's done well to get here, and she's been a very good contributor to the state program for a number of years, Degs.
She has. She's so busy working at Subiaco too. It's great that they're at different. We're pretty lucky and on a good and Noakes with another. It's an evolved Port Adelaide as they as they built towards a premiership that was pinched off them by Hawthorn a couple of years ago, just with that kick out to the top of 50. So Ali Noakes certainly can kick it. Bushby too, very good in that quarter. Now, amazing how young some of these players are. So it's what we're watching on. There's 14-year-olds out there. There's a couple of 17-year-olds too that had some injury interrupted sort of 19s program. Millie Jones is one of those, number 30, and a couple of players too with their ATAR and things like that have just made sure that they've clicked back. So having a little run around. So Georgia Haynes, of course, 15-year-old wearing number 1 for Blacks, been really good in the first quarter. So just the spread of ages really does make a difference in terms of the quality of the game, but it's certainly the two Cooper girls here, the twins, they're very young too, so 15 years of age, so nice to see them getting a kick.
Speaking of Cooper, Trent Cooper is a line coach here tonight. We had him sneak box on Sunday, Jen, and he was kind enough to give us about 10 minutes. He borrowed a pen. He was good enough to bring that back as well. But the one thing he didn't do, he didn't give us the scoop that was announced later that night.
I thought the exact thing when I was scrolling through things. The awards night for the Fremantle Dockers, and then of course he gets re-signed, and I was thinking, come on, mate, you could have dropped that in there for us during the afternoon.
Elite tweet, I gave you your pen back.
I owe you nothing.
With a laughing as well to the team there.
Shows a good board, Hannah. She shows a very good board there.
She does. I think she's a jiu-jitsu champion. She does a lot of fall work with the Academy girls. She does a lot of fall work with the Swans girls too. So this little program here for the WA girls have had her doing a lot of grappling and wrestling, how to fall, take a hit. And I think it's been very beneficial for the players through Hannah. Very big thanks to work with Fremantle.
James just final instructions. It's back to the camera because reaction was she's got the face to the camera, so she's giving the instructions this time, nothing to her. And we saw Wes Moran, who's looking at the goal.
Could play poker.
Yes.
For the black side in that first quarter, Fish and Fenton both with 6 disposals, and Haynes and each with 5, and the Golds racked 1. Henry 10 disposals, and Gamble and Dodd 5 each.
So we have the stats here with us tonight as well. Jen will keep an eye on those throughout the night. As Clint Degerop mentioned earlier, the girls no doubt will change positions pretty frequently throughout the evening, so you wouldn't expect anyone to rack up 40 plus touches or anything like that. I don't think they'll be playing pure midfield for the entire time. Wes Moran wants to have a good chat with his girls here. The Blacks are almost in position ready to play.
Well, the Blacks have got the lead, so Wes is feeling this pressure. Wes actually leads this whole program. So him and Bo McDonald set the curriculum and then the delivery, set up training sessions and such. So he'd be really wanting to see some of the stuff that him and Bo have put into the program happen. And a lot of that is those 45 kicks and the switches to his big on contested ball method. Bo McDonald put in through the State Academy. Wes would like to see a couple of ladies split off and really triangulate the contest. A couple of handball overlaps. I think what Wes will be talking about there. Wes is a big fan of the switch and the bounce as well, so I imagine that would have been his speech too.
Haven't seen too many bounces just yet. It is a cool, dampish sort of night. No rain around, but a bit of dew. Going to see Jordan Thompson in the ruck for Black. She'll get her opportunity, and Rogers for Gold, who started in the ruck and spent a bit of time on the bench as well. Dodd's in the midfield, number 14 there for Gold. We like some of her work in the first quarter as well. Rogers dancing on the toes. She's got a good leap on her and a very good fist. That'll please Bo McDonald. He doesn't mind the rucks putting it into the next suburb. As Black look to make it out. Fish, a clever little tap, trying to connect with Fenton. Can't find the handle of that football. Dodd, she'll always fight in pretty hard. They have to fight a draw this time. Gracie Fenton, Deg, she's been through the state schoolgirls 15s for a number of years and now into this program as well.
Yeah, she had a couple of years with the 17s. She's a pretty impressive player. Imagine she'll be taking a midfield position in next year's 19s team as Jamie Henry, another one that might feature in that team too, gets the first kick forward for Gold. Coming up to meet, that's Van der Heever. She's shown she's prepared to put her head and shoulders over the football. Thompson tries to merge. Locke gets her into the hands of her teammate Henry. Tries to connect further afield back with Van der Heever. There's a little pop hands. Fenton stands over it, delivers really well. It's Fish again. So Fish, the leading possession getter, has gone ahead. Mrs. Grasson is coming up to get this one. She's much loved at West Perth by her teammates as a staunch defender, and her kicks long and high towards the centre of the ground. Picked up by Nelson Marsden, a quality midfielder. Just trying to find the handle at the moment. West Perth insider. This is with Locke. Delays the handball to Henry. Henry pops the ball over. It's in the hands of Gill. Gill drives the ball down the line. First there, again for Gold. Representing Grassonis. She gets a little one in the back. No harm, no foul. The ball's going to be wrapped up here. Grassonis extracts it. Well, it was a two-handed handball. Not sure there was a fist in either. There's Maddie Dodd trying to burst through. Fish grabs hold of her. Has the presence of mind just to connect with her hands to Locke. She goes towards 50, coming out to hit it hard was Fitzgerald. She can't quite find the handle. Back with Locke. Handball forward. Not going anywhere. Black defence all over the place now. Dodd. Gold still trying to work the ball forward by hands. Reach. Shoved off it. There's this at ground level. Trying to burst through. Getting caught for holding the ball. Number 15 Gold. It's Tyler. It's with Haynes.
It's about to rewind the tape to Dodd's hand pass, Jen. That was amazing.
Such good vision, wasn't it? It was that sort of hand pass that coaches are really excited to see because it releases the play again, and it's that assumption, almost put it out in front and make sure someone runs onto it instead of hitting them where they were. So, yeah, that was really impressive.
Rogers tries a blind turn. She comes out of one tackle into the next and will be penalised holding the ball. Coaches won't mind her trying to take the game on in this sort of situation. Chloe Shearing.
So it does look like Gold when they're trying to surge forward a bit quicker.
Almost been a free kick to Black there. Being held without the football, but Gold repel again. The kick goes towards the wing. Fenton couldn't take the mark. Good enough to get a hand pass away. Dashing away again is Fish. Gets it towards attacking 50. Just clears the pack. Find a marking option down there. It's a good scrap for the football again. And the umpire might be called upon to ball this one up. Just looking on there. Riley Hall, number 30 in goal. Raisin gets to her feet. She'll do the ruck work now. Post to Cleaver. And work it back. Cripps with the clearing kick. Out in space, Nelson Marsden is there. Another West Perth player. Gets around her opponent nicely and then hands it off to Rogers. Puts it out to the wing. Good build up this one. Opportunity now for Gold to go deep into attack. On the lead is Blurton. Can't quite get to it. Black able to repel again. Looking forward to seeing what Blurton can do here tonight. As the clearing kick comes out by Reach. Towards a contest again. Swooping in again for Gold is Nelson Marsden. Good little hassle in defence from Black. Opportunity now for Fitzgerald. Didn't get much of the boot onto that one. McCauley's over the football. Needs to find a teammate. Can't do so. Thompson. She's run down. Good tackle. And the umpire see that. It's holding the ball. Jamie Henry, I mentioned no one would rack up 40 possessions. I think she's had 6 or 7 already this quarter to add to her 10 or thereabouts in the first quarter. Cripps loses the football. Sinclair's there. Can't take it with her. Coming out, Fenton. No real clean possession as yet. Fish. She's clean beneath the knees. Pops it high into the middle of the ground. Here's a chance for both teams really to have a good crack at it right in the middle.
Grassinus again. She's done a lot of the bullocking work, half-back. Pekanowski lurking. Greenwood paddling the ball forward, grabbing it now and turning nicely for Black team down the wing. Maddie Dodd's backfield for goal. Locked. Charlotte Tompkins work ahead of the footy as a small forward. Black have really worked this out well, haven't they? They're really covering off this area. Jen, how do you see, how are they getting that drop off?
It's interesting. They're just setting up very, very quickly. So they're doing the work early when there's a turnover in possession, and they're just slotting into the gap really nicely.
Amanda Heaver comes up and takes a good mark. Get herself a little tangled up. Get out a free jail card for goal at the moment. He's wearing number 24, or 28, apologies. It's Jamie Henry. Tamasha Blurton comes to the ball, tries to feed to Bushby, finds a handball through in McCauley. She tumbles the ball forward. Blacks have got the run of this ball now. They'll arrive in numbers. Diving forward, Tamasha Blurton gets the ball going the other way, pops it into the goal square. It's shepherded through by Amber Sinclair. Unselfish play. Send the runner out and say, get it yourself and kick it into this car park. Well done, Amber Sinclair. Tamasha Blurton trying to look after each other there. Ali Noakes with a footy.
Saw Tamasha Blurton play a school game, and I think I sent you a text at the end of that game, Dex. She was kicking it further than all the boys. It was a boys' team game, but she was the one female playing, and she's kicked it out from goal from the goal square. Obviously, it cleared the 50-metre line, and then she was having shots from about 45 out that were clearing the goal umpire's head as well. So can't wait to see her really get hold of one tonight. Fitzgerald's going to have a shot from straight in front.
I asked her if she had 4 or 6 on the weekend. She said, I don't know, somewhere between that. I think she grabbed 6 snaggers for Swans on the weekend.
So this is Tyler Fitzgerald from Swan District. So he's having a shot and just pushing it away to the right. Gold very competitive in this second quarter. Black hold a 15-point lead.
Guys, you're just mentioning Blurton, and she's sitting at 13 and 8 in Rogers, so right up at the top of the goal kickers list this season.
Comes from good stock, of course. Could be a potential father-daughter as well. Bushby takes the mark on 50. Already seen her kick a nice goal. She's trying to set one up this time. There's a couple of goals there. They both wanted a shepherd. Needed someone to go for the football. In the end, Van der Heever slaps it out. Coming through Cripps towards the goal square. Sinclair's deep. She can't take it. Fisted away from her by Gill. And then follows up. Sinclair applies the pressure. Hand pass was untidy. Burrowing through was Noakes. Seen a bit of her at East Fremantle this year. McCauley dodging one. Caught by the second. Got a hand pass away. In comes Fenton. Good support and defence. Kicks across goal to Fish, who wants to take on Henry, and she's away in a flash. That was very elusive football. O'Donnell now. And then go straight down the middle. 2-on-2 contest. Ball comes to the front of the pack. Grassinus again. Puts them back towards attacking 50. It's just going backwards and forwards at the moment. Fenton decides to go wide out of defence. Dodd is there. Has the lead coming towards her. That's well covered, so she just goes for distance. Sinclair getting back. Needs to pick this one up cleanly, wants to hand pass. Could have almost had a snap herself there. She's certainly unselfish, and Black will look to rush it through. Socked by McCauley at the last moment, but it's away to the right. And a behind only halfway through, or just about halfway through the second quarter.
Saw Kieran O'Donnell there have a dash up the ground. She comes at the footy. She takes grass off the opposition. So 15 years of age, pretty exciting prospect. That's what Coach Bo McDonald liked when he first saw her play. He certainly liked the way she went up the middle of the ground. It's good to see her do that on the television. This is Holly Gill for Black, going long to Haynes. She's been okay in the air, taking the ball off the pack's cleaver, shows her athleticism. Kicks across to the top of 50. Fenton steps inside, a tackle from Gamble, and then basically breaks the game open from here. Here, flips the ball out the back somehow, gets it back again, another handball. Love to see her run with it. Pressure from Gold's okay. Trying to drive through a Sim. East Perth Footy Club lets it go forward. Umpires are happy. Bushby, she'll try to use her speed. The left foot's okay. Favours Tompkin, does plenty of work to get in front of her opponent there. Pretty well for a small forward. Gamble again's followed up. Ball in the pathway of Bushby, clean pick up, left foot strike, inside 50 again, Gold out the back, looking pretty well. It's Machevsky. She gets the ball forward, it's off hands. Isabel, I reckon that's already over the line. Isabel, I've got your name wrong again, mate. It's Machevsky. I apologise, but I get excited every time you touch the footy.
It's been an almost quarter for Amber Sinclair. She was on the goal line socking that one through, but the umpire said it had already crossed. Sometimes you just have those nights, and that's the way it's headed so far for Amber. Hopefully there's better times for her later in this game. She's certainly putting herself in the action. Coming through here for Gold is Gamble. Fenton lays it off, and Black trying to rebound. They'll turn it over. Bushby with the left. Pops into a good position, just clears the target. Here's Sinclair. Snaps on goal, and she's got it this time. Reward for effort for Amber Sinclair. Kept the chin up when things weren't going right for her. She could have picked one up earlier, decided to shepherd it, ran into the goalpost. Had one just roll over the line before she could soccer it through, and this time she's finished. And I reckon that's a pretty good sign, Jen, from a young player. You can easily drop your head and think that it's just not going to be your night, but she keeps working. She's got a goal. Yeah,
great resilience in the fact that, as you said, you can sometimes over critique of yourself and start to dig yourself into more and more of a hole, worrying about what mistake you made in the past. But she's just playing footy that's in front of her, and very quickly then onto the foot, snaps it through and gets the reward. And Gold needed that, because they have actually been really peppering this end throughout this quarter.
One thing you always see in these games, Degs, is a smile when the girls kick a goal and they come to the bench. They don't mind too much coming and have a chat with the girls after that.
No, absolutely. That was a wonderful tap from Michaela Rogers into the path of Bushby. Couldn't quite find the handle. Going off the ground's okay. Mia Pappas. East Perth small forward. Machevska again, very busy. She gets her snap away. She loves a goal. Guarding the line very well is Ellie Noakes. Ellie Noakes kicks it well usually. This looks like Chloe Shearing working her way out to the spaces. It's not. It's Kira O'Donnell. Knocked off the footy behind the play. There was Jade Mead. There's a lot of body work, Jade Mead. It's in the hands of Fenton. Jen, Gracie Fenton must have heard his live stats.
Yeah, she has absolutely, like, a little bit of leather poisoning for her this quarter. She's already up to 14 disposals, 3 marks, 4 tackles.
Doing a lot of work as a defender on the last line for Black in this quarter. We're at half forward for Black now. They'll set up in front of the ball. Standing strong there. Racing. Feature of her play, Abby Bushby. Tries to get the run of it. She's with the speeds there and here. I have to say I did manufacture that matchup. 2 speedsters, one left, one right. And they harass each other past the bullseyes. Harper Gamble comes to help now. Steps it across and hands it off beautifully to Michaela Rogers. Back to Bushby. Good build-up. Black again have the answers. This is Tanner Lee.
Lee with a long clearing kick into the middle of the ground. Got good distance on that. Little 2-on-2 contest opening up here. Priezo Thompson was there, leaves it for a teammate in Sim. He clears to the outer side where the mark has been taken by Tompkin again. Looks quite lively. Kicks to a one-on-one. Good defensive work coming across to intercept there and make the spoil. That was O'Donnell. And we'll see a boundary throw in.
Very high skilled Tompkin. Her and a couple of other smalls into the program a couple of years ago. Just use the ball very, very well by foot, and you just can't ignore the way they play. Spot their height, fearless.
Black are 4 goals, 1 goal to 2 goals, 6. They've had the ball at their end for most of this quarter, as the game has sort of balanced out after Black dominated the early stages. Shearing with the kick towards half forward. And to collect and turn her opponent inside out is Millie Jones. Already has a goal. In the end, her full forward has to make the spoil. That was Mendoza. Kick from Boothman has just gone across the face. She doesn't mind having a shot for goal, which is good to see. Sometimes in women's footy, you can get a few players that are a little bit tentative. They want to pass it off, Jen, but she's prepared to pull the trigger, which is good.
That's what I've really enjoyed from this game so far, is we're seeing people take on a goal-scoring option from 35 out instead of trying to walk it over the line and get it closer and overuse the ball.
Rayson just runs out of defence and gets his ball to 70 metres out. That'll please everybody, the coaching panel. Burrowing in there is Gamble. Maybe got a little high one. All fair. Hands and knees. Gold. Ball bouncing around. Pugilese Thompson. This is Chichili. Down the wing. Diving in there. Versus Holly Britton. This is Dodd. Favourite of the commentators already, Maddie Dodd. Not just because she's got the hairdo of Gem and the Holograms. 3:30 television show in 1991.
Yeah, what references, hey?
She wouldn't know what the hell I'm talking about. Trying to break away here is Boothman, well harassed by her opponent to Henry. Handball again, cut off by here. Goes in and does a tackle again here, but Henry's followed up to Gamble. Handball across from Gamble was good to Rogers, getting connected as a ruck in the middle of the ground. Dodd outside, coming up and hitting the football nicely was Fitzgerald. So Fitzgerald can build. She wheels around that right foot. There's plenty ahead of the footy. Blackswell set up again. That's Reach, who's had a good second quarter, if not a good game. Nelson Marsden tries to get the ball going her way. Blacks have just about done enough, you'd think, to get a ball up. 3 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the second quarter. WA Black versus Gold, thanks to Simply Energy in the AFLW NAB 17s Championships. And Jess Smith is listening in. And she's, of course, the National Talent Manager, makes all this possible.
Noakes in defence here for Black. Made the spoil on Blurton and then clearing kick. Just clears for distance at least. Here's Henry again. Should be up towards 20 possessions just about. A lot of those handballs. She pops this one out. Swooping through for Gold. Not really able to get a clean possession. Van der Heever. And then Bakvanovsky was dragged off the football as well. A lot of goal jumpers around this. Here's Henry again. She's such a competitor. As we said a couple of times already, more accustomed to seeing her playing pretty much a key position, defensive role for Swans, but Jen Tadant in the midfield, she's a bit of a ball magnet.
Absolutely, and again, just by coming back and having opportunities like this to play in the midfield, whereas when you're playing up in seniors, usually there's older players with slightly bigger engines and more running their legs at that stage that get to use that key midfield. And
Cheska and Haynes going back with a flight of the ball. Wonderful courage. Harper Gamble picks it up. Gives it in the path of Lock. Nothing on the kick really. It's in no man's land at the moment for the footy game. Cheska again from Henry. She's ripped off the football. It's picked up nicely and surged down the line. Holly Britton can't get a handle. Brings Lock back into the game again. At the back, Olivia Cripps. She's played a little bit of league footy at Swans too. Developing player. 1-2's okay, trying to find O'Donnell. She releases it in the path. Intended for Cleaver. Lock closes that space down. It's with Gamble again from Bukanovsky. Ripped off the footy. Goal. Little toe poke from Olivia Cripps. In the path of Van der Heever. Van der Heever wanted her right boot. Finds Meg McCauley. Harassed off the ball by Black on this occasion. Back in there again. Van der Heever. Ball at 50. Bukanovsky. Happy just to let that hit the ground. Swooping in on the back of the pack there. Black trying to extract this footy. It's in the hands of Mead. Hands back into the contest. Doing some heavy body work in there was Van der Heever. She seems to love the contest. Jade Mead can't get her hands away. Repeat tackling. Spills out to the other side. Gets free. Little handball might have been a kick from Georgie Cleaver. It's picked up by Henry, who handballs it again. We're at 50. Meg McCauley's kicks run down. Jade Mead, good smother. We've got nowhere in 5 minutes.
We need the coach to come in and pick the ball up and throw it in an open space on the other side and get them all to chase it the other way.
Mia Pappas trying to make the play. Really, I think the umpire might have found a freebie there just to get the ball going.
Georgie Cleaver gets the free kick for holding the ball, but unfortunately a kick turns it over. That's Lock. Lead's going in all directions, so she decides to go straight down the middle. Kicks to a contest. No mark taken. Trying to escape with the football is Brown. The second opportunity, kicks long and wide. It comes off hands, close to the boundary. Boothman's got some speed, just overruns the football, and then Jetta sees it over. So we're closing in here on half-time, Jen, and the game has certainly closed up after Black were pretty dominant in the first term.
yeah, interestingly, this last 5 minutes has been a bit more congested, maybe some tired bodies heading into halftime, because prior to that, I was writing here how quick the game was going, that every player was playing on it every opportunity. There was none of that sort of go slow if you took a mark and you push back and sort of wait for things to unfold. It's been go and go and go.
Our clock has run out, but it's still the game running. There's the siren now. Just waiting for half-time siren. It was a nice mark to finish off the term as well, but I don't think it's going to be paid anyway, so Thompson won't get the opportunity to have a shot from a long, long way out. As Georgie Cleaver's picked herself up. She's a bit sore after a heavy tackle a few moments ago. It is half-time in our under-17s AFLW Championships intra-club match between Black and Gold here. The WA squad has been split in two. There's our half-time scoreline. Black 4 goals, 2-26. Gold at 2-6-18. Thanks to Simply Energy and front row screens, we will take a break. We'll come back and have a look at some of the highlights from the first half.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple. Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
We're at half-time in the AFLW under-17s intra-squad match for Western Australia. The Black playing the Gold, and we've seen a pretty entertaining first half of footy. Dave Lindsay, Clint Deckerbrott and Jenny Wallace, your commentary team here this evening down at Victor George Kalis Oval at Fremantle Footy Club's home, and it's at Coburn Arc.
There's a couple of people rushing for a ball for a kick at half-time, and as she tried to pull up ahead of a couple of mates, she slipped and all the mates ran her over. It happened right in front of here, and they actually looked like 10 pins. The footies went everywhere.
Just looking at the Black squad, who are getting a few little instructions before. I don't think they're heading into the rooms tonight.
No.
There's a few spectators up on the balcony. We've been very lucky. We've been put inside, which is fantastic.
There's Mark Fenton there. You can see him just trailing off the left of your screen. He's texted his daughter, Gracie, and said it's live stats. So get up and go, kid.
We'll get Jen to talk a bit about the stats, because there's a couple of players in particular that have owned this football in the first half as we look at some of the highlights from that half of footy. What have you got on the stats sheet there, Jen?
Yeah, well, just mentioning Fenton, 15 disposals now. She's up to 3 marks, 4 tackles for herself. So she's had a very good half for Black. And Henry continues to dominate for Gold. She's now up to 22 disposals, the 1 mark and 3 tackles for her. So pretty impressive stats from those two. They're really owning the game for their sides.
It's been good to see Jamie Henry sort of let loose. I was going to see Dean Margette's downstairs as well. I'm sure we'll get him on the camera at some stage. I just wonder he hasn't come into the commentary box for a chat as well, Dino. He tapped on the window on Sunday just to let everyone know he was around, and then strolled out to the centre circles to talk to the umpires and let them know that he was around as well.
He also he chipped me at the office too for a couple of your comments as well.
A couple of my comments, right?
Yeah, said,
okay.
Thanks for making it about me time. I said no, mine was about to get in the tall day.
That's right. That wasn't a bad one.
His umpires are out here today. Of course, you can see a couple of umpires you'd recognise from AFLW. Gabby is out there umpiring today, so we've got a talented panel out here, and you'd expect the umpires coach to be here, making sure that they get plenty of feedback from him.
Does he take tonight as a bit of toil time as well?
Well, I hope this is definitely out of the hours work. But I tell you what, the way our umpires work at the West Australian Football Commission, if you tried to count their toil hours, they wouldn't ever come to work. They'd work about 6 months, and they'd have to take 6 months off. Very busy group of people. Our umps at the WFC. Zippy Fish, very impressive, Jen. Yeah,
4 inside 50s for Zippy Fish as well. So she's actually having a real mark on the game for Black, who I would think in that second quarter, they didn't have as much as the ball as Gold. Seems to be a dominant end so far we've seen in this half of footy.
Yeah, we're tucked up nicely inside one of the rooms here at Fremantle's headquarters. There is a bit of breeze about. There is a couple of flags on top of the headquarters away to our right, but it appears to be that the wind's blowing to the right of screen, and yet most of the action's been to the left of screen that we've seen here so far this evening. Jen, you're poring over those stat sheets over there. Who else has impressed you in terms of their statistics so far tonight?
Well, I guess just in terms of statistics, it's interesting. Black have made 47 tackles to Gold's 25, and we were just talking a little bit off air about what messaging you can give in order for a game like this to open the game up and not turn it into a tackle fest. So it's quite interesting that I had the impression that it was quite even, but there's definitely Black have had to do a lot more of the work there, shutting down Gold, trying to propel forward. But yeah, look, Dodd, who got our attention, she's on 10 disposals, 4 tackles herself, and a couple of forward entries, and Locke in that last, and Grasenis, they're the 2 for Gold that sort of stepped up throughout that second quarter. Boothman and Noakes for the Black team have been the 2 players that have also started to jump up statistically, getting their hand on the footy a lot more.
One thing you'll always see when Trent Cooper is talking to a group is smiles. So you see the way the Fremantle girls prepare, lots of laughter, lots of smiles, lots of wrestling. He's already got the midfield group of the Black team giggling and laughing as he goes along.
One person we had giggling and laughing off air just to our right was Bo McDonald, when we had a bit of a joke about him getting stuck into a toasted sandwich. That wasn't true, but I can tell you that we'll find out a bit more about the work he's doing as the WA female state academy coach, who's been conducting to strengthen the talent pathway for female footy in WA.
I suppose I developed my love for football when I was very young. I grew up in a sporting family. The girls went to netball on Saturday and the boys went down to Bassendean Oval and we watched Swan Districts. My uncle's a Gary Sidebottom. He played over 100 games at Swan Districts. My pop Wally Sidebottom played state football and also for Swan Districts. I didn't play football till year 12 at the Upper Swan Junior Footy Club. I went down there in year 12 and played in the under 18s, and I found myself at Swan Districts Colts the next year, and then the year after that I was lucky enough to make it to the Brisbane Lions. In 2001, I think to be part of history was fantastic. I really remember getting a handball out to Bossy when he's kicked that goal from the boundary line, and I remember pushing over the contest. I think John Barnes was my opponent. When I seen Bossy flash past, I remember giving him the handball and sort of folding in behind him, and I was directly behind him. He's kicked the ball and it's just gone through, and I remember running back to the centre thinking, this isn't over. This is such a good football team we're playing against. There was no room to relax until that siren went.
And they've beaten the champs.
When I retired in 2008, I spent some time at the Brisbane Lions, assistant coaching role, worked behind the scenes in some welfare roles and some ruck coaching. I was there for 3 years, but then I moved to the Pilbara. I worked with young Indigenous males up there, trying to get them to go to school and helping them out with their lives. And then I got the opportunity to coach the Northwest Academy through the West Australian Football Commission, and I started to really enjoy coaching that young group, and I felt like I had a responsibility to give kids the opportunity that I had. I enjoyed my time coaching in the country, but getting back into high performance was what I really wanted to do, and the opportunity was there in female football. And I moved down to Perth to be involved in the female talent pathway to coach under 18 state girls.
Bo's application really stood out to us because of his experience in the coaching world. So it wasn't so much that he'd played AFL, in fact that's limited to it. It's his ability to connect one-on-one with people. He knew what it took to play and coach at the highest level. He'd worked at community level in Aboriginal and community engagement, so we knew he was the right package to move a group of people from where they were to where they needed to be.
The girls are, they're a joy to coach. We're really just there to give them the best opportunity, that if you get that call up to the AFLW, you can do your best when you get there.
He understands that each player needs to make their own progressions. So what drives him forward is driving a player forward. His ability to move a player with their understandings through the developmental stages and pathways would be his best attribute. We're really lucky to have support of fantastic sponsors like Kia, because they allow us to drive the game forward. Bo's been able to really drive female football, and our staff love driving the Kia cars. We've got staff that have since bought their own Kia cars as well, which is terrific. To have Kia as a sponsor to allow us to cart our people, our equipment, and to basically power and drive what we're doing inside female football is terrific.
We're trying to drive a culture here within our academy group. We also want to produce WAFL players and good community members and people that go back and give in some way to the community. And let the girls know that whether they go on in their football or they go into a workplace, all these things that we're trying to instill in our culture here, they're transferable to the next place that you go, and it's just all part of being a good person.
There is the great man, Beau McDonald, on screen there, talking with Scott Baker and the rest of the crew, Degs, including Ellie Lampkin in the Eagles.
Ellie Lampkin.
She's looking very wrapped up there, Ellie.
She is, and I don't think she'll give that back as she leaves West Coast Eagles. Of course, Ellie Lampkin's coming across to take the role that I'm exiting, so she comes back to the WFC pathway. It isn't a straight swap. You can see Scott Baker there. He's the executive manager of Waffle Talent and Umpiring. He's here today with the 17s match.
He's coming upstairs. I reckon he's too cold.
Also on the screen there is someone that you really don't want to call out on because she gets embarrassed. It's Kate Hartwell, who's done a lot of work to get these programs up and about. She's actually working the male program as well. So she's got this game, next week's WA Gold. Then she's got the 17s and the 19s matches. Having a chat to her before the game. She needs a cup of tea and a sit down.
Speaking of cup and tea and sit down, we're going to take another break. Black are back out on the field. When we come back, the second half of this match as part of the AFLW Under 17s program, the intra-squad match between Black and Gold for WA.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple. Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
Gold are back out on the field. Black have been out for a little bit of time already, and we're just about ready to start the third quarter. Thanks to Front Row Screens and Simply Energy. It's the live stream of the Black versus Gold intra-squad WA AFLW Under 17s program. Of course, no interstate fixtures for these girls, unfortunately. Dave Lindsay, Clint Deckerbrot and Jenny Wallace, your commentary team tonight.
What didn't mention too in the Silks down there is Juliet Williamson and Naomi Baker. Naomi Baker, trainee with the West Australian Footy Commission, graduate of the 19s program.
Question for you. If you were the coach and you wanted Bakes to go out there and give an absolute blast to a player. There she is, there's Bakes. Smiling, surprisingly. Could you trust Bakes to actually deliver that hard message?
I would say two things here. One thing is she's a tough, over-the-footy player.
Yep, correct.
And no, she's not going to yell at anyone on the field. Beau McDonald likes to refer to her as Hooks from the Police Academy movies.
She's more likely to put an arm around you and say, look, you're going okay. Keep your chin up. You'll be all right.
Life is good.
Yep.
And it's you know, everyone's happy, and the sun is going to shine, but you're playing terribly.
I don't think she'd even say that.
No.
Jamie Henry, number 28 for the Gold squad. Jen, you've talked about her stats. What's her breakdown of kicks and handball? She seems to have handballed a lot. She's had over 20 touches.
Kicks 5, handball 17, and her touches 22.
Smokes.
So that's probably the one thing, isn't it, Degs, that we'd probably like to see from Jamie now is putting boot to ball occasionally a little bit more than the handball, but it's fantastic to get 22 touches.
Being a junior player in a league side, she probably gets a chance to take control now and thump the ball along by foot. You see Mia Pappas just on that screen there too, number 4, and Lucy Greenwood in number 19 standing next to her, playing at Coolbinia Footy Club. Riley Hall, number 30, done a bit of work in the background. You can see Kyra Chichili, who's a very exciting, long, young player from the Swan Districts Footy Club. So hopefully see a bit of dash out of the back line from her.
And then the Black squad, Gracie Fenton, a little bit of knee slap came. And Hannah Hong getting involved there, Jen, I think.
Absolutely. And that look, Fenton, her breakdown, she's 15 touches, 6 kicks, 9 handballs.
And she got up and going in the second quarter. As if she knew the live count. Jordan Thompson in front of your screens. It'd be Fish number 4 over the side. She's been exciting. Jen's been tracking her with a binocs.
Well, Fish, she's the player that is using the ball by foot the most. So she's gone 11 kicks and just the 2 handballs. So she really is looking to surge Black forward by foot.
Zippy Fish going the bum slap rather than the knee slap there. Is that allowed?
She did. I think they're good friends, those two. So it's all about what's acceptable between mates. And if you're not someone's mate, don't do it. But you also saw Chloe Shearing, strong defender from West Perth, and she's flashed past our screen just once. If she gets up and going, you'll see some run and carry and some long kicking. She got the high praises of coach out there, Rogers Cup, Steve Hazel. So watch her, Chloe Shearing.
Gold squad just away to the left of our screen at the moment. And there's the Black doing their final run-throughs. So we're pretty much ready to get going. Millie Jones in the middle of the screen. Good to see her playing some footy again. She was around the 19 squad and was a good person to have around the squad, Deeks. Unable to get out on the field, obviously. But
and she was good enough to take her spot as a young player in the 19 side. Just that wrist just didn't allow her to. In the end, she had the wires pulled out just before the team flew to Gold Coast. Oh, sorry, we didn't get to go to Gold Coast.
We went to Melbourne,
changed. Home of footy.
Question for you. There are a number of players who are the correct age who could be out here tonight who are not. So much talent through AFLW. Another 3 or 4 players that played state 19s who, for obvious reasons, you've asked not to bother coming tonight because they've done their work.
Yeah, 19s. Miley Leach was good in the 19s. She's a very young player. She doesn't know. She's actually far better than she knows. She's very highly skilled, and she's going to learn how good she is. Love what she's been able to do in her couple of league games, and I thought she was pretty handy at different times with the 19s too. Ella Roberts, of course, was dynamic in the 19 side and has been for Peel. She's starting to become a player. She's turning 16. She turned 16 in December last year, and she's a player that gets marked each and every game. And the other one there too was Ash Reedy, Nia Little. She's been super, and she could easily be playing in this game, and she'd be carving up at half forward. And Lauren Wakefo carried the ruck at different times for WA as a 17-year-old. She's just turned 17. She also carries the ruck for South Fremantle's league side too. So 4 players that we're hoping that will be considered by Tarka Rocky and the team over the AFL for the match coming up. They have shown their credentials at 19s level, so they don't need to do it here now.
We were talking about how lucky we are that we're tucked up nice and warm here, Jen. A couple of lunar gentlemen have just decided to escape the cold. They're sitting away to our right. We won't embarrass them by saying who they are, but there's beanies on and big heavy jackets.
We won't embarrass Darren Fry or, or Rock. So the head of the Eagles program and the head of the Dockers program have just made their way up to the commentary box, and they have worn every single item of Fremantle gear and respectively West Coast Eagles gear that they own.
Well, Jen, we came prepared with jackets, beanies, everything. We haven't required them tonight. It's been nice.
Yeah, I wore boots, long socks. I was ready for out in a balcony. I'm more than happy to not be out in a balcony, though.
No, Fremantle have done a fantastic job, and we have to come back here next Wednesday, so we have to say thank you to them.
Absolutely.
We're quite liking it in here. We need to make sure that we're inside again next week. There's the goal bench. Jamie Henry's going to start on the pint. A little thumbs up to her family. Mum's upstairs. I saw her on the camera before. So she's just going to call her heels a little bit.
Did you get dragged? No, I'm being rested because I've got league footy this week coming up, and I've got coming off a league game on Sunday too. She held Brooke White quite.
Didn't she?
200 game player across a couple of different clubs. Now at Claremont, she's been for a few years. Dangerous forward, and Jamie Henry got the job on her.
Ali Noakes has gone into the middle. Interesting to see how she goes in there. As we're ready to go here to start the 3rd quarter. Good spike forward from Black to get things underway. That was the ruck work done by Holly Gill. Through comes Dodd. Puts boot to ball. It's a good kick. And getting back, Macaulay marks. Got the bike shorts underneath the footy shorts. Sets up nicely. Kicks towards full forward. Needed the forward to come towards her. Here's Blurton. Always dangerous around goal. Comes back onto her left side. Hard to tackle as well. It's a hand pass into a dangerous position. Bushby's on her left foot. She's dangerous in this position as well. Doesn't quite have the carry on the kick and getting back. Black have done enough to work that into the behind of the goalpost. That was Liddington. And behind scored to bring it back in. Here's Reach.
Reach, 15-year-old with kicking duties. It's a beautiful kick. Plenty of gold end up representing the front of this contest. It's Cripps. Nearly goes past it. Reach again. Reach unfortunately had the arm pinned. I think this might be holding the footy on the far side. It's a good tackle from Appy Bushby. She paid advantage and a wicket to go.
Yep, it's gone through. We were looking at the camera here in front of us, the screen in front of us, but they've played onto advantage and a goal's been scored.
I assume that was by Abby Bushby. We have to have another look.
It'll pop up on Jen's stat sheet there, so I'll ask Jen to keep a close watch. Camera's gone to Sinclair, so hopefully for Amber Sinclair's sake, she might have snuck a goal, which would be her 2nd.
Cameramen have been pretty professional. Camera people, camera operators, front row screens. Seen some elite work from them over the last couple of weeks. So If they're pointing it at Amber Sinclair.
Sinclair, yep.
It's likely that it is. So well done to the camera and the front row screens. That's wonderful work. Saw what we didn't. Back in the centre. Stalemate in the ruck. Chili's gone into the middle, which is good to see. And Boothman too. So fleet of foot. 2 players. Sippy Fish lurking around the outside of this contest too. Big jump from Angelique Racing to Chili. That player we just spoke about getting to the front of the contest. Ellie Noakes drags her down. No prior opportunity. We'll restart again.
Noakes from the Sharks. Here's Thompson winning it down towards Noakes. But they wouldn't want to connect on that occasion. Ball goes over Dodd's head. Sweeping through his Fish. And pass hoping for a teammate there in Boothman to collect. Dodd emerges with the football again. Got a bit of speed and got a runner loose on the outside. Puts it out in front of her. It's Cripps. Goes high and long towards full forward. Blurton underneath the football. Sinclair at the back. Black though with some extra numbers. Gamble tried to fend off. McCauley had her caught. The two of them go at the footy again. Coming through quickly and snapping on goal from a tight angle. A behind scored by Gamble. And Gold have levelled it up. We were talking off air, Jen, at half time, the value of the scoreboard. What should we do with the scoreboard? Well, it's dead level, so we might as well keep it on.
Or put it back to zeros. That Chloe Shearing doing that run I described at half time. Kick to 60. Racing takes it off the pack. Tries to claim it, realises it's not going to be. The ball just hits the wrong part of her foot. Going to throw in front of Amber Sinclair.
Degas, you're involved in these talent pathways. You've got huge experience. Scoreboard-wise, we know that whenever you play and there's players, they'll be counting. They know the score. So that's why we were saying you don't turn it off because some people know it. But it's funny, like, how do you work through with these players about ignoring the scoreboard and letting it look after itself?
I guess you almost throw that over to the Eagles and the Dockers in the corner, but you'd say that the scoreboard takes care of itself if you play good footy. And I'd suggest that's what we try to teach them. I won't suggest that that's what it is.
Yeah.
Is the scoreboard it just takes care of itself, and you just have to play the game. Bo McDonald's a big advocate of just do what you do well more often than the opposition. If you stick to your game plan for longer than them, you'll get some success on the board. Angelique Racing, very deliberate, and she just smashes it straight through the middle, and Gold have the lead for the first time today. Very professional approach, very solid strike of the foot, and she absolutely split the middle, Jen.
That's a great kick, wasn't it? Just composed over the ball, took her time, knows her routine obviously really well for a young player. Just a really sweet kick through and contact with the ball, and it's dead straight through the middle.
I heap a bit of praise on Vander Heber too. Like the way she's gone about her business today. Very physical.
So Raisin's gone back into the middle. There's Blurton at full forward.
Harper Gamble in the front screen, and Abby Reach for the black team standing to Maisha Blurton.
So Raisin rucking, beaten in the contest again. Good ruck work once more from Gill. Black getting it forward. Fenton, so much of the football in the first half, but she's tackled this time. That was a good tackle coming through by Luke Nelson Marsden. Fenton trying to stand up in the tackle. That whistle took a little while to come, but eventually it does. And we'll have a ball up.
Good time to mention Ollie Beath too. A lot of these players have come through Ollie Beath's 15 state school girls program. Jeff Hayes involved there too. David Trainer. Lots and lots of other people as well, including General Holmes, who's coaching down there the black team today. As you see Cripps trying to go forward from the wing, intercepted by Zippy Fish. She's little fumbles brought Fitzgerald in. Fitzgerald can't get an effective kick away. A lobbed handball. Mystery footy ahead of the ball. Abby Bushby back to Jamie Henry. Pulls it over the shoulder. Nearly a safety mark by Reach, playing on Tamasha Blurton. Differences in ages and height there. Reach tries to go through in the arms of Blurton. Will be first this footy. Looks to be Gamble. Can't gather on the first grab. Can on the second. It's organising herself for a snap around the corner, and she channeled it to her opponent, who read it beautifully. Tessa Liddington was able to smother that over the boundary line for a throw-in. Two very young players. Start of the pathway. All in. Gill, as mentioned before, lives on a farm south of Pemberton. Come a long way for this game today. Super athletic player. Kicks a little risky. Risky's okay in one of these games, and it's Vander Heber. Takes a nice contested mark against the very strong Ellie Noakes. Too far out to score. You can see the eyes darting around, trying to find a good lead. And in the end, she does a disciplined thing and lifts it up towards Tamasha Blurton. Can't quite get the right drop of the football, and Chloe Shearing does a disciplined thing and runs it over the line.
Down here at Victor George Kalis Oval, Coburn Arc, the home of Fremantle Footy Club. A pretty good night for football. A little bit cool outside, and the dew has certainly come in, but no chance of any rain and not much breeze either. So the girls have got good conditions here this evening. As the kick comes back into play, working hard there under pressure, O'Donnell. In fact, not O'Donnell, it's Boothman. Should have recognised the red boots, of course. We'll see a ball up.
Fiddy usually moving too quickly to recognise the boots. Speedster.
Red flash anyway. Noakes doing the roving. Tumbles a kick into the middle of the ground. Fenton playing forward in this quarter. Pops the hand pass away to Brown. Nice sidestep, but then she stripped at the football. Actually called holding the ball, which was interesting because I thought it was just plucked out of her hands by Fitzgerald. I think we're seeing that more and more, Degs, in the girls' game as well, as the stripping of the football. Not so much just tackling and holding it in anymore. Now, I mentioned before, we know it's cold. It's definitely cold because someone's looking over my shoulder. And Scott Baker snuck into the room.
Well,
so
just look, next time you hear the door open, it'll be Elliot Rager.
Yeah, Baker's come in for a look as well.
Elliot might be listening in at home today. Ball from Gill, not cleared from the offensive 50 with Maddie Dodd, who has a bounce, which is a great idea, but she's in the hands of Ali Noakes, and as we know, can't bounce the ball in a tackle.
Jen, one of the great things with the girls changing position so often is they get their opportunity and they've got to take it when they do, and Noakes' quarter has been excellent.
It has been very, very good, and she's been involved in the last passages of play the last couple of minutes, trying to get the ball forward for Black. And then a really good tackle there as well.
Thompson, and then a fly from Van der Heever. Thompson for the Black team. Millie Jones shovels this out by hand. Gets it to Agnes Manise. Nice mark ahead of the football by Athena Mendoza, and about 7 gold players ran through the protected zone at the same time. That'll be 50.
350 metres? Or?
Well, you know I don't maths, so I'm going to go with you. I think you just get the 150. Scott Baker, of course, executive manager of Waffle Talent and Umpiring, in the commentary box now, supporting the 17s All-Stars fixture. Athena Mendoza didn't want all the 50, she wanted 43 and an angle. She's been brought in front of the goal. The resultant kick is a goal. So from dead in front, Athena Mendoza, the beneficiary of a 50, and was able to do the job for the Black team. We've got a decent game.
I was going to say, who picked the teams here, Dex? Was it you? You've matched them up pretty well.
We'll say me, Bo and Wes, even though really it was just me. No, that's not true at all. Bo McDonald is sitting here in the commentary box, selecting his squad for the 19s program next year.
Jen, there's some brave people out on the hill. They're a lot braver than the guys that have come inside with us now. There's rugs, there's beanies.
Yeah, it says it all, doesn't it?
There's a hot chicken roll on the lap of Charlize Thompson there. She was supposed to be playing today, but she hurt herself on the way in.
Oh, right.
Her sister's actually taking her jumper and playing for the opposition side in her space. So Jordan in 33 has taken her big sister's number just to balance these teams up a bit. You see Emily Boothman taking this ball off hands. Neat work. Kayla Rogers has followed up. Ducks and weaves. Van der Heever comes back through the traffic. Brave football. Tries to bite off a kick in the corridor. And it's okay. It's in the path of Fitzgerald. Getting there quickly. It's Moniz. She's on hands and knees now. Fitzgerald again. Kicks the ball forward. Flyer in the Black. Just carried the pack. Tessa Liddington's got some work to do. Chloe Shearing, Tanner Lee in this case, has come up to help out. Amber Sinclair holds the tackle just long enough. Now with Shearing. Shearing tries to go Kiara Bowers. Big fend off. Doesn't quite get it done. Kicks okay though towards O'Donnell. Flashing through now. Beautiful from O'Donnell. It wasn't O'Donnell in the first case. Certainly wasn't the second. That's Kira. Francesca comes up. Unfamiliar territory for her. Having a turn in the back line. She's a noted goal kicker at Subiaco in the MBS program. She was kicking 6 a game. On screen is that young lady's whose name that you know. Pugilet Thompson.
Pugliese, I reckon.
Pugliese, you're correct.
I'm going with Pugliese. I went to school with Nick Pugliese, so I'm expecting the spelling similar pronunciation.
I think
she'll let us know between now and next Wednesday.
She tried to give me a lesson over the last couple of days. It's hard to teach.
Goal towards half forward. Cripps, her kick was blocked, and she follows up with a good tackle. Barging away through Fitzgerald, who's done some nice things up forward for goal. Rogers thought about going in and winning that football. I like her athleticism so far today. Sim with a chance to run with the ball, going pretty wide with her kick, but it works out okay, and Sinclair's on the lead. Wants to move it on quickly into the pocket. Kicks towards a one-on-one. It clears that target. Blurton with a strong tackle. Umpire had the whistle cocked and ready to go, but the hand pass came out just in time. And Black on the way out have been able to connect, and Millie Jones has it. Just backward of the wing. Moves it to the wing position. Going fairly wide off the boot of Fenton. She'll follow up. Just about collect her own ball. She does in the end. Pops a hand pass out. Just flashing past was Lee. And now Black through Boothman can go forward. Towards half forward. Clears the pack. At the back it goes. Going to ground Gold. Good support coming from Riley Hall. Kicked high into the middle of the ground. Boothman went back courageously and then ripped the ball out of her opponent's hands and was tackled high. She's flashed in and out, Jen, at different times, but what she's done's been pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. I think being able to come through and affect the play in that sense.
Oh, there's Britton
How's
selling a
the
bit of candy. Kick deep forward. No mark taken. Cripps is there. Hall is there. Hand pass comes out. And it should end up in a goal for Black, although no, the kick's just gone wide from Holly Gill. So a behind only. Holly Britton's got a few tricks.
Yeah, a bit of a basketball background like her sister, I think.
So footwork sort of comes so naturally. As Noakes comes back from after arrest for Black. And we were looking at her before, 9 kicks, just the one hand pass for her, 10 disposals. She's been using them very, very well. She's moving back in for Black.
Tilda Sim flashing through, trying to trying to beat Zippy Fish in a foot race, which is tough. Usually Thompson's kick was a beauty, connected with Fitzgerald, who's up and about. Tyler in the hands of Millie Jones now. Vander Heaver, you saw on your screen earlier, kicking it to Jones. Sorry, it wasn't. It was Jeevner here a couple of moments ago before that shot. This is Fenton and Pugelet. She said, do you have to say my full name or can you call me PT?
PT works.
Kayla PT. This is Sienna Pollard, 14-year-old. Sawyers Valley. Not old enough to play Rogers Cup yet. Highly skilled and worth working with. Dad's about 6'7". If anyone's wondering why she's out there, she's a ripper kid. She's highly skilled. And Dad's 6'7". Bustling through is Michaela Rogers. Gets it as far as Noakes. Turns it back the other way. She's been busy again. I think, Reg, you've said that earlier. Wanting her feet in the middle. She's just as good behind the ball, though. Actually, she goes right in front of it, too.
Throw in to take place. A few players have been moved around in this quarter. Jamie Henry, who had over 20 possessions in the first quarter, started on the bench and then went forward. That might have been her just swooping through at the opportune time as well.
What can't front row screens do?
The kick from half back, it's been turned over and the mark taken by Tompkin. So scores level with 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter, which is good for the girls to have a very competitive contest set up for final quarter. Here is Henry. As I said, so dangerous in the midfield early in the game. Another little hand pass from her. Can't find the teammate though. That teammate was Locke, who then followed up with a good tackle. And it might be just trapped underneath the pack of players. And I think, Jen, we're seeing what we saw towards the end of the second quarter. Girls getting a little bit tired and the game's slowing down a little bit.
Generally what happens is the game breaks open when they're tired. I think every time the scoreboard gets close, they get tacklish.
Yeah, that's right. Well, and we're evened right back up again, aren't we? So
there's no chockies for the winner. Exhibition game.
You say that, but
yeah, there'll be a bit of chat at training. They do train together. Wes has had them split, or head coach of the 17s program, Wes Moran's had them split for the last couple of weeks, so or last couple of sessions, I should say, so they know each other as Ellie Noakes takes another safety behind the football.
You can tell Jen's played about 100 years of competitive sport, can't you?
Yeah.
She knows who wins and loses when she plays.
I'm so happy sitting here between two wicket keepers as well.
Well, make it three with yourself.
Yeah, I think
it's a bit of glove work in this commentary team.
Keeping for Australia to my left, keeping for WA to my right, and keeping in the fourth row, or keeping in the thirds for Pingelly. Doesn't quite put me in the same category as you two. This is Pollard again. Starting to get some touches as she settles into this game. Lovely little rundown. Smother was okay from O'Donnell. She waits for Racing to pick it up and clamps on the tackle. Machiska trying to pick her pocket. Has a little look around. Gives it back to Jamie Henry, was that. Called it Angelique Racing initially. Harper Gamble needs her laneway runner. Can't find one. Has to go a long way to find one. Does eventually in Dodd. Stepping in is Racing to help out. Dodd tries to break through, which is exactly what we want the girls to do. It's a wonderful tackle by Brown. Just carried her forward. Matty Dodd surrendered the footy. Good run-down tackle. It's lovely to see the girls taking the ball on. Gamble again. Trying to find a runner. Little subtle shove from Zippy Fish. Sim towards Macheska. Long kick in as well, read by Henry, and she takes it in front of her face. It's 1 minute to play. Tammy Henry will get this to the line. She's just calling for someone to come at her. Does happen now. It's a good kick, but it just bounces off Mia Pappas's chest. She's got another chance as a small forward. A little handball coughed up. And stoppage, what, 40 metres out? Just, it's dead in front.
Nice football from Henry there. Again, these girls getting opportunities in different positions. We get to see what they're capable of doing. Haven't seen her play up forward in Waffle W or tonight so far, but taking that mark at half forward and then looking for a good leading option. Unfortunately, a teammate couldn't complete the mark. Here's Jones towards the middle of the ground. Black with a late opportunity to score. Boothman lost it over the shoulder, fights on, Soccer's off the deck, gets it into space. Here goes that speedster Zippy Fish, and she's kicked to the open goal square. It's get across the face, unfortunately. Will be kept in. Although it's a good little one-on-one battle. It's like the coach has rolled the ball out in front of the two of them. They don't want to touch it. Clearing out of there is Hall. She's kicked to a dangerous area. Might come straight back. Siren beats them. Hall just gets away with that one. There's a bit of a cringe from a couple of coaches up in the box here who saw that ball going back into the corridor and thought might have been better over the fence and just count the clock down. But it's three-quarter time, and this game couldn't be set up any better. Locked together at 33 points apiece with a quarter to play. Thanks to Simply Energy and Front Row Screens for supporting this live stream of the AFLW Under 17s intra-squad match, WA Gold and Black. 1 quarter to go, so stick with us. Come back after these messages.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple. Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
Welcome back, and look at that. There's Dean Margetts out there. Bit of me time for Dean. He's even going to do some goal. Actually, he pinched a pen. He's done a Trent Cooper there. I wonder if he'll give it back. I reckon he's signing an autograph there. I reckon he said to the young fella, I'm just going to sign this. Who should I make it out to? And away he goes, Dean Margetts. There, he did give the pen back though, Dex. That's pretty good.
360 AFL games plus. I think it's 368 AFL games, or it will be shortly if it's not that high.
Number 6, the famous number 6.
The famous number 6.
I wonder if they'll retire the number 6 when he retires from
There'll
AFL
be umpiring. There's a bloke in front of him and a bloke behind him, and that's why they're not retiring, because they don't want to take over each other. They'll be umpiring when they're 60. They're certainly all three of them are still fit enough.
Trent Cooper running one of the lines here tonight for the Black team. It's great to see him out there, Jen. He's just committed to female football, isn't he?
Well, it's the ultimate experience for these players when you know that the messaging that your idols are getting in the area that you want to end up, which is AFLW, you're getting that messaging direct down to you, exactly as
Steve
you want to be.
Malaxis on screen. Sorry, I was in your way. You couldn't see that, Jen.
Kerry O'Sullivan working that line with Steve, just a bit of support as well. So there's some big names down here tonight.
Yeah, Steve Malaxis has been doing a bit of work with the West Coast Eagles in terms of contact with the young female players across the place. So he's been really heavily involved in the 17s program. Thanks very much to the West Coast Eagles and to him. He's played a little bit of football himself. He's I couldn't even guess how many games, but
Claremont, East Fremantle, Hawthorn, West Coast. 300. I used to wear the number 8 on my back, my little Claremont jumper when I was a little kid.
Famous for finishing a whole season without an ACL.
Ellie Noakes, Jen, we're just seeing her there on the camera. We mentioned that the girls get their positions changed throughout this match. She had her opportunity in the middle and really put on a bit of a show.
Yeah, she did. She also was working hard back, wasn't she? Because she dropped into the hole a few times and had some intercept marks there to enable them to rebound back out of the 50. 12 kicks for her and just the one handball. So she's using it by foot, getting into good positions at the moment and helping Black get forward of the ball. So, yeah, I think her quarter just then was very impressive. A couple other players who have had a big third quarter. If we go across to Gold, Van der Heever, she's got 10 disposals now. But Fitzgerald, it's the one, number 15, who probably we maybe haven't noticed as much, but obviously doing a lot of work because she's now up to 14 disposals, of which 9 of those have been by foot. So another name that just we can keep an eye on and see what quarter four. So she's taken her opportunity in the third quarter.
She's getting a lot of ball in the box in the middle of the ground, and she's using her feet quite well to get connected too. So she's up and about in that quarter. She's been steady across the quarter so far. Fitzgerald, a player I quite like. She's quite clever and she's usually quite strong over the ball. See, where's Moran? Starting to have a chat there. Photo of the crowd before having some KFC.
Georgia Haynes on screen. Saw her get good purchase on a kick earlier to kick a goal late in the quarter.
She's the daughter of a gun.
And Gold it is who they're 106 kicks and 108 handballs, so potentially a side that we've been looking at through this whole purpose of this game and just looking at maybe overusing the ball there a little bit. Maybe they can go by foot a bit more. Black, 107 kicks to 65 handballs, so they're definitely pulling the trigger earlier and looking to put it on the boot before they get that contest coming on them.
And Dex, great to have champion data doing the stats for us tonight, because I would imagine the coaches will get a print out of this and be able to go back to their groups before next Wednesday's game and say exactly what Jen said. Maybe a little bit too much hand pass from Gold. What can we do with Black to change up what we're doing?
And just that education piece too, as we flash back to Naomi Baker in the Silks with Juliet Williamson, another West Coast Eagles employee down here helping out, just getting involved in the pathway. Lee Lampkin in the foreground with Rose Huxtable, the original OG, old girls, her nickname.
And they're not enjoying their footy at all, are they there?
Is Ellie just confirming that they're going to have to work a bit harder now that she's in charge and you're not?
And that's why Juliet's singing around. She's going, unlucky, I'm out of here. So.
Or is it the other way around? That's why they're giggling
Dino's
away out there so much.
Well, Dino is the umpire's coach, and this is a talented group of umpires. So that's exactly right. Get in there, positioning.
Good work from Dino there. He's got the jacket on. He's working tonight. We shouldn't. No, we should.
Of course, the reason why we mentioned Dino is because he lives in the same house as Jamie Henry, and has a lot to do with her upbringing. So, stepdad to Jamie Henry, and they train together, and they run together, and they play together.
And I guarantee he will go home tonight, and he'll go back to this live stream, and he'll have a look through Jamie's game, and he'll hear our comments throughout, and he'll be on to you tomorrow.
If I go in.
There's young Maddie Dodd, who's had a pretty good game. We've liked some of her work. Jen, you've seen a bit of her through Subiaco, and she's going to start in the middle with a smile on her face too.
Yeah, she's a little leader in the making. I think she doesn't. She's a player that,
she's just indicating to the coach that they're one short.
She's worked it out. That's some leadership for you.
And that's what I like about a player like her. When you're around a group of players, sometimes there's players who they'll lead if they're given a title, and then there's other players that just lead by. Yep. You don't need the title to be a leader, and I think that Maddie throughout her career will be a player like that, whether she gets a title or not.
So she starts in the middle of the ground. She's going to be the go-to player by the looks of things here for this ruck tap if her ruck wins, but she's beaten. It's nice ruck work again from Holly Gill. She's done some good work in the second half in the middle of the ground since being brought into that position. Nadja Brown over the football. Does well to get that one up to a teammate. There's Fish, doesn't run this time, hands it back to Gill, gives it back to Fish. She's got nowhere to go this time, it's like a phone booth. Speaking of Booth, there's Boothman, her hand pass was blocked. This ball's a hard one to get out. Boothman standing up that tackle, she's been winged here, dragged down with one hand by her opponent. The umpire deciding no prior opportunity, so we'll see a ball up. Scores locked together, so the game nicely positioned as we start the last quarter down here at Coburn Arc, Victor George Kalis Oval. Thanks to the Freo Footy Club for hosting us here this evening. Inside 50 we go. Gold an opportunity to collect here under a bit of pressure. Smachevska can't take the footy with her. Brown does. Gets it out to Britton. Now Jones wants someone to run past for a hand pass. Eventually gets that connection with Fenton, who puts Black in front with a wayward shot that's missed away to the right. Not that the scoreboard's super important, but as Jen's pointed out, the girls generally play to win. And with 17 minutes to go in this game, they'll be looking to finish in front of the scoreboard.
Grassinus plays on. The wobbly kick does find its way to Dodd. Initial fumble. She's drawn a crowd and handballed outside to Hall. Hall to Sim. Misses this one. Goes back in again. A little paddle. There's time now to pick it up and drives Gold forward. This is towards centre forward. The mark's taken by Macaulay. Meg Macaulay dashes away. Can't quite get an inside 50 with this kick. Fenton's well set up behind the ball, though she spills it under pressure from Fitzgerald. On the ground now, Fitzgerald keeps her feet, then beats a tackle. Going inside 50 now, or just. Well, we're not inside 50. Just floating around the outside. Ball's picked up by Shearing. Looks good with ball in hand when she's on the run. Towards Gill. Coming through the other way. Van der Heever. Intercepted by Fish. Zippy Fish for Black. Marja Brown had a wonderful run at it, but chopped off by Riley Hall. Her kick goes forward. No one can mark. Fitzgerald up. Moniz stayed down. Black's now with the numbers. Doesn't give the handball initially. Dribbling kick towards Mendoza. Tidy footy just to start this one. Ellie Jones emerges with the footy and gives it to Haynes. Haynes long ball in. At the back was a good fly from Britton. This is Little Britain. Turns inside out on the right foot. She drops it into the top of the goal square. Will it run on? It will. Umpire had a really, really close look at that. And it rolled over the line for a goal. Well played, WA Black. Holy Britain. Little Britain gets herself a snag on the state stage. Mentioned that her sister was the state captain of the 19s.
Did a very good job too as captain.
The greatest runner the State Academy has had so far.
So what is it for an even younger age group than this that are looking to impress and looking to make sure they've got those physical attributes? What is it that you're measuring for?
Well, in her case,
yeah.
She won everything.
all of it.
What Trent Cooper's done is he's had a lot to do with us at the State Academy level. Of course, he was the 18s coach for a couple of years, and he said, you've got to run fast. So when you're running, you've got to run fast. So he wants the players to run the 2 kilometres as fast as possible.
Yeah, right.
So he talks about high-speed running. So Jade Britton's sprint efforts and high speed is very good. I think as a 15-year-old, she was a 17-1 on the yo-yo.
Yep.
She beat her own score, and she was running around 2Ks in less than 7 minutes, 40 seconds.
It's very impressive.
And I think that was what she was doing when she was 16. So who knows what she could do if she was fresh of leg and not playing footy week to week, as Black team or Gold team's trying to force themselves forward. It's been a hard work to get it to here. Black's starting to fall on the ball. Hoping the girls can keep their feet, keep driving their legs. 2 players go to knees. Staying on her feet was Reach. Clever handball to Livingston. Head of the ball, Cripps over the back, reaching. It's good play from O'Donnell. Sims can't quite find the handle. The Jew is in. This is Jade Mead. Surges the ball forward. Gets a connection. And a neat one too to Thompson. Thompson's got some runners. It looks like Boothman on the outside. If she gets a chance to go in and out, she'll go quickly. They hold her up really well. Pugilay Thompson connects the top of 50 with Fish. Fish plays on quickly. Numbers in the middle of the ground. The big flyers go up. Staying down was Hall. Trying to defend now. Getting in and under was Brown. Thompson. Van der Heever just hacks it off the ground. Not a bad idea, but chopping that ball off was Emily Boothman.
Sets up well behind the ball here, Boothman. Will decide to chip a little ball. And, nearly worked out okay. And the Gold should be able to clear Van der Heever. Flashing ponytail behind her. Up comes Henry. Makes a good contest. Couldn't take the mark. Going through very quickly. A long kick forward, or was that back? Did that go the wrong way?
Just going back to come forward was O'Donnell.
It's O'Donnell. Here she goes again. This time she'll get it going. Always like it when they look to make up for their mistakes quickly. Boothman's there. Can't take it with her. Van der Heever watching her closely. Hand pass out into space for Tompkin, who then kicks it into wide open spaces. It's a good race on here. Rogers decides to soccer it off the ground. Wasn't a bad option. Teammate straight up the line, but unfortunately skidded through her legs. And now Black will be able to rebound. That kick could be turned over as well. And Gold can hold things up. A little quick forward from Puese Thompson. No one can mark on the wing. Here's Sinclair. It's been worked off the football by her opponent. Coming through Macaulay. Now Rogers, he'll go with the soccer kick again. Tompkin over the football, paddles it back to Macaulay. Some tired legs out there. Not a lot of clean footy just yet until that passage of play where Sinclair's on the end of the kick. A couple of good long kicks from goal. Needs to get it moving. Sits it up towards half forward. No one can take the mark. And pass from Gill, gives it off, and then O'Donnell into the middle of the ground. Chase on for this ball. Brown does well. Shows a bit of speed, about to be run down. Gets the shin to the football. Towards centre half forward. Gold in the way though. Little jumper and a ponytail pull. Fenton. Off to Fish. You heard the call of Zippy. There she goes. Zips around one. Zips around a second. She'll take on the third. Nearly caught. Gets a kick towards full forward. Can't find a teammate. That's a good tackle. That'll be rewarded. Nice work down back with a good tackle. That was applied down there by Grassinus, who clears for distance towards half back.
Zippy Fish is doing exactly what the coaches have asked for. Take the opposition on and have a bounce. Wonderful to see. Doesn't matter the result. It's just the intent. This is Grassinus working really hard. She got a little clip on the shoulder as she tries to exit this footy towards Chichili.
Well, Fish is now leading disposals for Black. 21, 16 by foot, 5 handballs, and 8 times she's been inside 50.
It's a good mark by Thompson. She took a bit of heat from behind as well. Long ball in. Looks to be a very smart kick and finds Brown. The Brown's within a distance. She's been lively again to start this quarter, using her speed. Georgia Haynes doing her best to put her off as she tries to lower the vision and connect the head of the footy. I reckon she had the right to take a shot there. Kayla Rogers hasn't used the hands for a little while. Haynes steps around. Pressure from Rogers and from the front from Chirichili. Racheska versus Gill. Gill first to recover. She goes back through the space. Right foot kick towards the top of the square. Tracking the ball nicely was Mendoza, but it carries over her. Grassinus has got her hands full now with 2. Little Britain in there. Kick towards the top from Beskonowski. He's going to put Gold under pressure. This is going to put it under further pressure to the top of 50. Macheska just couldn't gather and give. She probably didn't want that kick in the first place at that particular part of the ground. And Brown with a rundown tackle.
It'll be interesting to see here if Brown decides to back herself and try for this distance. This is what these games are for, aren't they? To find out what you're capable of deep into a game of football. So I'm hoping she takes this one on just to see.
Then this is how you generate a hang in the square too. High kick in, opportunities there. The chest mark is taken by Hall. She's been good down in defence. Hall exits for goal towards Fitzgerald. Forced to spoil from behind on Gill. Gill good positioning. Fitzgerald just trying to find a little hole. Kicked it to the top of 50. Always dangerous to keep the opposition in it like that. You have asked the players to take everything on. Fenton feeds a late lane runner. This is Mead. Mead will go long. Nearly to the top of this, nearly with Gill. A couple of different opportunities there with Cooper and Gill. Trying to get away is Bekanovsky with Cheska. Their kick's intercepted at the top by O'Donnell. O'Donnell loves a running kick. Options open up on the far side of the ground. There's a lot of black jumpers taking on the chest. She'll stride back to have a shot. There's a Southwest product. Jamie Dowse has been working with Aggie for a long time. She's got a chance to get herself on the board, Agnes Moniz. The Southwest Footy League. As at a guess and say it's the Bunbury Footy Club she plays for. And I think she might have got this all the way to the line. They've actually kept it in. Nelson Marsden looks for a chest. Can't quite find one with Macheska. Georgia Haynes coming the other way. Macheska's okay. Hall just tries to get it out of there. It's a good mark taken in front of the footy by Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald finds it. Cripps on the far side. Cripps towards 50. Nesta plays again. And it's with Abby Reach at the back of the pack. A little handball over the top. Doesn't really favour anyone at this stage. Start to pile in. Keeping her feet now. Tessa Livingston just tries to bomb it out of there. That's Abby Bushby trying to break away. Abby Reach will be able to take this on the chest and restart Black.
Looking forward to seeing a bit more of Georgia Haynes next week with the ball in her hands. I think her kicking looks a real feature of her game. She's coming to screen there, number 1. She's going to kick off the deck this time, and that was pretty effective too. Gained a bit of ground. Dodd swooping through for goal. Dragged down by Haynes. Good tackle. Comes to Tompkin. Just squeezes a kick forward. Fitzgerald, who's been very lively up forward, has it now. Needs a leading player. Can't get it to Sinclair. And again, the intercepting mark's been taken by Reach. He's done that on a number of occasions tonight. Had a good game down back. Thompson across her body towards the centre of the ground. A lot of goal jumpers around this football. As always, Dodd hard at it. Well tackled by Fenton. And the umpire decides that she did have an opportunity to get rid of it, so that'll be holding the ball. And Fenton will take the free kick. Kicks to a teammate who fell over. Luckily, there's Zippy Fish behind her as well. We might see her go for a run again. Runs a full distance. Pops the kick up. And a good juggling mark down in defence again, taken for Gold. That one's been taken down there again by Grassinus. Clearing kick to the outer side. Gold again seem to have the extra numbers. Late in the game, they need a score to keep this game alive. 5.5 minutes to go. Fitzgerald again, a chance to set something up. Happy to take a bounce on the slippery surface. And kicks towards half forward. Sinclair on the lead again, doesn't quite get to her. Blurton applies a good tackle. Gold have the numbers here, but that's a good tackle as well, applied onto Gamble. Dragged her down with the football. We'll get a stoppage. Chance for Gold, Jen, to keep the game nice and tight with 5 to go.
There is, and I think if the team that can start to find that work rate here, where you, even if the ball is not in your possession, but you're creating space or you're shepherding away a dangerous potential tackler, they're going to open up the game. They started the quarters doing that. The beginning of the game, maybe a little bit more energy around. So that's something that at the end of this fourth quarter, the team that can get that little 1%er sort of stuff going will start to break this game open, you'd think.
Ellie Noakes kicked up the chimney. Chirichilli wasn't able to take the chest mark on this occasion. In the ruck now, gets 10 in the lead. Teammates at Swan Districts. Exits okay through Fenton. Head of the footy. Van der Heever looks to be given the job on Boothman. Nice match up. Back feed's good from Bernice. Boothman just missed it. She tracks the crowd now.
So just like that, instead of sort of putting the hand pass out and then getting out of the air and allowing the two Gold defenders to come in and make the tackle, just trying to stay in there and give your player some space.
So I was to tell you that they're not allowed to soccer in Rogers Cup. They found out that they're allowed to soccer today.
They're using it.
They're using it. Just because you can doesn't mean you do. I think Fitzgerald has decided that she's going to pick it up cleanly and use her dash, which she's done in the last couple of minutes. Long kick in. Good positioning, Ellie Noakes. Reach again, been very busy in the hands of Sinclair. Meg McCauley tries to go through a hole that wasn't there. Reach again, shoveling towards the line. Gamble pressuring her. It's a nice kick out. Favour Thompson. Stripping her over the footy was Cripps. Cripps kicks in a hurry. Mystery footy. Meg McCauley ahead of the ball, stripped by Ellie Noakes. She's over the football now, and Gabby's lurking. She says that she's done enough to get it out. Noakes does bend over and pick it up, and that's clever football in the back pocket.
Some very few boundary throw-ins or balls going out for the lasso move from the boundary umpires. I think these girls have grown up with the last possession rule between the arcs, and they don't go too close to the boundary.
Of course, a bit of anti-density here too. So the game is really stretched out behind the ball.
Here's a chance for Blurton. Normally strikes the ball pretty well, and she's nailed this opportunity. She's a very good kick of the football, Tamisha Blurton. And this is game on, Jen. 3 minutes to go. 1 point the difference is exactly what you're asking for.
It's exactly what I'm asking for. And look, the scoreboard, we know that it's not always supposed to be watching, but I can't help but be enthralled by the action and the fact that these players, they're competitive. Just they are coming back at each other really well. They're trying to find their way through possessions, as we see, unfortunately, an injury coming off for Black. But it adds to the atmosphere. They've been training apart, as you guys were talking about before, so you're sort of instilling that ability to play hard, train hard as well, and this is just that next step towards it. So it's great for their development, and it's great to see the players, stand up under a pressure situation, like Blurton just did.
Gordon Thompson with Belinda Mager as the game restarts. A little head knock. Just get she's okay. Meanwhile, Tompkin forward for goal. 1 point in arrears, 2 minutes to play. Abby Bushby with here. Jeevna here. The kick is a good one, and Fitzgerald has really come alive in this last quarter. She's been really good across the whole game, but really important in the last couple of minutes. Surge kick in's okay. Chaos ball in front of the footy. Get your name on the paper. Take a hang. No, Tanner Lee's going to run out of defence, and she clears with a long leg. But only as far as a nest of Gold players. Finding the handle eventually was Cripps, and she connects again with Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald immediately plays on. Turns right. Puts it in the path of Harper Gamble. She's attacked from the front on by Noakes, and Noakes will work this line. Getting some help now. It's Locke. Tanner Lee with a handball. Big smile on her face. Defending teammates at Swan Districts. Reach tries to clear the ball for Black.
Fitzgerald now 22 touches, 7 marks, 16 kicks.
7 marks and 6 immediate plays on.
Really surging the ball forward.
You've manipulated the teams well, Deggs. Can you manipulate a draw? Can you find a behind here for the goal? They're going forward again, last minute of the game. But Black in the nick of time with the clearance, although to a very dangerous position. It's been knocked back in by Tompkins. She follows up. Her kick was smothered. Can't tell me the girls aren't playing for a win right now. Noakes is back in defence. Gets a hand pass away. Pressure is applied. Good tackle again. Hand pass comes out. Here comes through for Black. Gets the hand pass away. And Georgia Haynes gets it out of the area, but only momentarily. It's going to be coming back in. Machevska with the footy to a dangerous spot. Can they find a mark down there? Not yet. Cleared away again by Black into the middle of the ground. One last chance perhaps here for goal. Cripps with the kick. Gets it inside the arc. No real target. Noakes might just put the boot to ball. She does. Gets it out of the area. Might be enough for Black to hang on. They'll go forward again here, Gold. The kick from Greenwood. And the siren has sounded with the ball inside Gold's 50. But they couldn't find the score to give them a draw or a win. And it's been a very good contest. Black have taken the points tonight, 6-4-40 to 5-9-39. But I think, Jen, it's the old cliche, football was the winner. WA under 17s footy was the winner tonight. So much talent on show. Very impressive stuff. Very
impressive. The players have definitely entertained us. They've taken on the advice of the coaches and what they're after about playing in engaging football and showing us their skills, showing us what you've gone, taking the game on, and they've both done that. Well done to the selectors in making sure that the teams are as even as they were, and for the way that the players got switched around in their roles. We saw different players throughout different quarters get a chance to take their opportunity, and for these young players, that they've all, I think they can all walk away from this game going, I've put my best foot forward here.
Well, I would agree. I think some standout performances from some of the girls today. Of course, some of these players aren't eligible to play 19s next year. Maddie Dodd will be too young next year to play. So good performance from her.
Jen, we'll give you a chance to read through maybe a few of the top possession winners for tonight for each of the sides.
Yeah, so if we look at the winning side, Black, you've still got Fenton up the top, 24 disposals, 9 by foot, 15 handball. She also made 6 tackles tonight. Fish, who all game just kept popping up dangerously, 23 disposals for her, 18 by foot and 4 marks. She was very, very good. Her inside 50s was 9, easily the most dangerous player heading inside 50 for Black. And then across it at Gold, Henry, she maintained her position at the top. You've got to remember she had 22 at halftime, so swapped around in her roles throughout the second half. 26 in the end for her, and Fitzgerald was the one that the second half, her opportunity was given to her, and she came rocketing up the statistics leaderboard, ending with 23, 17 kicks and 7 inside 50s for Gold. So Fitzgerald taking her opportunity in the second half.
Dex, what pleased you most watching the, not so much the individuals, but the style of footy that was out there?
Yeah, just prepared to have a bounce and prepared to make a mistake, and then prepared to have another bounce and make another mistake. Have to be brave in these games to showcase your talent. That's the whole idea, is run and show how good you are. We don't care what you can't do, it's all about what you can. I reckon we saw that today.
And what happens between now and next Wednesday for this squad of girls?
So they'll go back to their clubs tomorrow, bit of recovery. Most of them will be on light duties. There's a number of players will be considered for their league teams this weekend, so they'll go into ice tomorrow. They'll play their weekend's fixtures Saturday and Sunday. They'll come to the State Academy again on Monday. They'll do a little recovery. They'll be in the pool again. Sideways rain and lightning last time they were in the pool. Girls loved it. No squealing at all. It was fantastic. And the 17s boys came in after and made a fair bit of noise. And then they'll do their review and setups for the game, same place, same time next week. So
to see, and we'll be back next week as well, Jen. Another night down here at Fremantle, Coburn Arc.
Yep, looking forward to it. It'll be interesting to see if the teams shift at all, or whether we stick to the sort of way that it's played out tonight and just let them go at it again. And as you said, learn from mistakes and not be afraid to make mistakes, so that they learn from what they're capable of doing, and we get to see some great football as a result.
When we were working with Trent a few years ago in the State Academy, we always wanted to get 6 goals versus 7. We thought that was an entertaining scoreline, so we just about got there today.
Yep.
Wes Moran just having a chat with all of the girls together. Obviously, it is an entire State 17 squad, so it's not as if they are 2 separate teams. Some of the highlights from this evening's action: Millie Jones, great to see her kick a goal early in the game, and just good to see her back out there playing some footy, having missed a lot this year through injury. And Boothman also someone who did feature for the WA Under-19s for a game against South Australia in Adelaide this year, getting her opportunity here with her age group. So a lot to look forward to for her as well, having already tasted Under-19s footy. And Amber Sinclair, who had a tough night for a quarter and a half, but she managed to turn it around, Degs, after that. She played a good game of footy. It was great to see her keep her chin up and keep on trucking out there.
Yeah, I think she's a natural forward. She's been working all over the ground like you should in junior football. It's great to see her leading patterns are still there. It's a bit of muscle memory. Abby Bushby had a bit of a day out too on limited duties, or limited time today for a couple of players. Just all players were kept to maximum 80% game time, but a couple of the older players that are playing league footy were kept to 60 minutes. So a couple of times people wondering where certain players are, or then just making sure that they're being iced and cared for so they can back up again this weekend. So obviously being a Wednesday night fixture, it didn't look like a Wednesday night after school fixture.
Not at all.
6 o'clock in WA here, Perth, obviously Perth, but the weekends was torrential rain for the girls, and this weekend Cummings torrential rain for the girls. So thanks very much for whoever organised this for us, and we'll put it on Fremantle. So thanks very much Fremantle and the AFL for this weather.
Yeah, it's been great to have the support of Fremantle Footy Club, Front Row Screens, Simply Energy, the AFL, NAB as well.
Of course, West Coast have got 7 staff members here helping out this day too. So
absolutely,
everyone heavily invested in the pathway here in WA.
What did you enjoy most tonight, Jen?
I think it was the fact that we saw players taking the game on and trying to use their skills instead of being overawed by the occasion and going into their shells. And so there was at times towards the end of the quarters we saw a bit more congestion, but that was just some tired bodies and getting through that. But majority of the time players look to play on and look to show their skill and take the game on, and I thoroughly enjoyed that part of it. I also liked the work rate back in defence. You didn't see people just look to only go forward and not get back. So overall a really high skill level.
Yes, a very good night for everyone involved down here. Great to have Jem with us, and also Degs and Front Row Screens bring you all the action. They'll bring you the Waffle W match of the round as well this weekend. So if you're interested in some Waffle W action, you can catch it on Front Row Screens and through the Waffle Facebook page as well. Time for us to pack up here tonight. As we mentioned, we'll be back here for another contest between Gold and Black in the WA Under-17s AFLW squad this time next week. So we look forward to your company then. And as we mentioned, stick with us, Waffle W action on the weekend, thanks to Front Row Screens as well.